Welcome to Deep Thought. Self-improvement is needed during these times. I'm going to tell you what. I've talked to a lot of elders. I talked to a lot of people, some serious scholars. The storm isn't coming. It's already here. In fact, one very intelligent mentor, he even said it. You know, the plane ain't going down in flames. It's already on the ground. We just picking through the rubbish right now. You know, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's crazy. If you just do a momentary look at everything going on, it's not good. You got people resigning from jobs. Trust me, it will affect the economy one way or the other. You know, you got this great resignation. Stuff isn't doing well. Just economically, supply chains are slowing down. I mean, it's so many things. You know, we still have the pandemic. Every little thing is happening. There's a lot of chaos, and people want a savior. Because usually during these times, people want somebody to come up with an answer. I'm going to tell you what the answer is. It's within you. If you have a critical mass of people, or critical mass, who change how they behave, change how they approach things, and really improve themselves, it has an effect on everything else. Yes, indeed. What you do can have an effect on everybody else. Because, see, as you improve yourself, as you become a better person, the people around you, they have to respond either in a negative way or in a positive way. For example, if all of a sudden, let's say you do something small. Say you're around a group of people who smoke and drink, party, and all of that. And you somehow in that social group, you played an integral part. Think about how that group changes if you decide, you know what, I ain't doing all that no more. In fact, I'm not even hanging around the group. It'll start changing because it can change that. Or say you're in another social setting, social group, wherever, and you change in how you live your life. And it starts affecting them. And, you know, this is a lesson I learned my freshman year in college. Because I go to, read, I'm a freshman in college. And I remember there was a man who was working in a school cafeteria. And he might have been on the high end of the spectrum. Now that I look back at it, he might have been on the high end of the spectrum, but he could still work and all of that. And he said, you know what? I like how you always reading. And all of a sudden he started reading more. He started reading different things and getting into stuff. And I could see maybe after 6 months a market improvement on how he expressed himself and the things he would talk about. Now, who else did that affect? See, when you change yourself, it's not small. It's like if you have a clear bowl of water. The water is clear, like crystal clear. But you just start dipping some ink, dropping some ink or some color in it at different points. Just a small drop, maybe 7 drops. It'll gradually start changing the color of that water. Maybe not right away, because they tiny drops, but all of a sudden you're going to say, well, wait a minute, it's not as crystal clear. And that's just a few drops. Now, what if you drop a whole lot of drops in there? It starts changing. See, the key to change in the society really isn't a great leader. Now, I know many people have said that. Even some mentors would disagree with me. But even with a great leader, it's up to the people to decide to adhere to what the leader is promoting. So it's still their choice. See, the one thing we all have is choice. So the leader, they just show in a different way. It's still up to the people to decide. Because you have a lot of men and women who are potentially great leaders, but people ain't listening to them. So people have to decide. But in order to decide, maybe to follow the teachings of a particular leader, you still have to make a decision within yourself. You have to decide, you know what, I got to change what's going on within me in order to move forward in the world. And see, that's what we really need, because what happens is this: if we have a critical mass of people who change how they do things, it changes everything else. And that's already, you know what is happening on some little tiny ways people don't realize. I'll give you a great example: veganism. Veganism. Have you noticed all of a sudden you got restaurants, they got at least one vegan patty or like some meal or something, like vegan burgers or something? That's because you have a tiny percentage of, like, just in the United States, a tiny percentage of people who are adopting a vegan lifestyle. But because of that, that's having effects on other stuff. Now, I know some people, especially if they work in certain industries that, quite frankly, promote meat, oh, yeah, they're going to have an issue with it. But that's just a reality. See, a bunch of people, the people now, like, you have a demand for more vegan products. Vegan restaurants are popping up because you having more and more people who just changing the way they eat. That's all they did. Think about the power there. You might think you're by yourself, but like I said, it's like in that bowl of water. You put these drops here, at some point they affect the whole thing because they start to join together. You know? Because think about it on so many levels. Let me use the vegan example. That's a great example. Say you have a new housing development. You know how they putting up these housing developments and, selling to people. Say through, I don't know, divine intervention, you have a critical mass of vegans that move into this new development. And, they start talking, hey, we vegan. All of a sudden, that starts affecting what type of stores around there. All of a sudden, they might need some more healthy eating around there, or stores that sell more vegan products. A vegan restaurant might come around there. All of a sudden, it's changing a whole lot of little stuff. And it actually has a change on the industries that might have usually supplied more meat products and other stuff like that. Because then that's an area that they can't really sell much more anyway. See how that works? But where did that all start? That started with the individual. That started with people improving themselves. See, we need people to become better people. We need them to self-improve. And it's needed during this time. We see what's going on. But we can't sit back and wait for the leader. If every single person listening says, you know what, I'm going to change how I'm doing stuff. I'm not going to contribute to this. I'm not going to contribute to this madness and everything. It can make a big difference, in your life and also the lives of others. I just want y'all to think about that, okay? And everyone have a great day today. Peace and blessings.